Hello everybody and welcome back to Juno New Origins, where we have a lot of money right now, and we don't really have any contracts that are progression. A lot of this is just repeats of stuff we've already done. So we're going to have to go into our tech tree and unlock more technologies in order to get more progression missions. So I believe that the ones marked with the dollar signs are ones that have contracts assigned with them. Yes. So landing harder would get us additional landing gear size, the KIS leg. Okay. As well as new contracts. So we'll unlock this guy. That'll be fine. And then anything down here. So we've got fidget spinners. Okay. So this is actually propellers. Might as well grab that. And what is down over here? Off-roader. Okay. So we'll grab that as well. And then the question is, do we want to just get everything in this tier of technology? May as well, right? Our tech points are basically farmable in this game because of contracts. So let's just grab all of this and get that cleaned up. Okay, so that's a bunch of new technologies, and we're going to be going for probably OP leaf blowers here pretty soon too. This is going to unlock new contracts as well, so we may as well take that right now. And then I don't think we have any others that we can afford to grab that would give us new contracts. But that's what we're going to take for now. So let's see what we've got in here. We're going to need to refresh our contracts. Okay, so we have a new customer, Evelyn Shotwell here. Okay, she's the director of the Drew Space Center. She'll assign you some of the hardest missions, but you can be assured they'll come with a good payback. Okay, so that's cool. And then this is a new location here. We need to verify that you know what you're doing. Get on a suborbital trajectory and then land on the barge to unlock the raised launch pad. Okay, that's gonna be spicy. That's gonna be real spicy. Okay, so we can't do this with a solid booster, for sure. Let's accept this guy. And then we've got Learning to Fly, which has a tutorial to it. And then we've got this Mountaineers one. So this is a road mission, like a car mission. Sure, tech points if crewed. Yeah, that's fine. There's no tech points involved in this. I'm going to accept this, and I'm going to accept this. These are all progression missions. So that seems okay. This mission is going to be the interesting one. So the question is, we're probably going to have to try this multiple times here. I don't actually know how we're going to achieve this. This is going to be very, very interesting indeed. So we're going to have to do an iterative design here and try this probably a number of times. This is a skill set that I've never really developed, is being able to do that sort of precise guidance within atmosphere. So this is going to be something that I'm going to have to develop in order to do this. So let's start with a new rocket. Did that say tech points if crewed? Because having this be crewed would be insane. Oh, apparently it's running this tutorial. We have an airplane for you all ready to go. Okay. The electric motors spin the propellers to generate thrust. The motors are set to spin in opposite directions so the torque cancels out. It's very efficient, but it's also a bit slow. Later on, after you unlock jet engines, you'll be able to build much faster airplanes. Okay, so it wants us to do this air race, and I guess we have to do this right now. So we need to launch from the village runway. So I guess we'll come back to the raining rockets. I intended to do that first, but I guess we'll do this right now. Okay, so we need to... This one. We need to get to the start checkpoint. Okay, so looks like the propellers are assigned to the throttle. Okay. Seems reasonably fine. We can steer with the rudder. Gotcha. Oh, this thing is very nose heavy. I didn't necessarily expect it to be quite that nose heavy. Okay, so let's just get on down here. We didn't even need the ramp there. So checkpoint 2 is out over here. Cool. We're probably just going to do the steering mostly with yaw, I would think. Yeah, that seems to work fairly well. This is not the most stable design in the world, but it works. Checkpoint 3 is off over that way. Okay. We're going to need to get some turning done here for sure, so we'll just do something kind of like this. Definitely not the most stable thing in the world, but it works. Okay, now over to checkpoint 4. This one we don't need a big turn for. Yeah, the aerodynamics really don't like to update on it. Okay. So we're going to need to dive down a little bit here and pass straight through that checkpoint. I just missed it. Okay. We're going to have to turn this right on around. And come at this once again. Okay. Our turn radius is spicy. That is for sure. Our turn radius is very spicy. There are 10 checkpoints for this. Okay. So yeah, we just barely missed that one. So let's just turn this up through here. Turning a bit too steeply, so we were losing altitude there. Coming at it from this direction seems spicy. We'll see how that goes. Oh, that wasn't close enough? Okay. This is a little hard to read our exact directionality then. Okay. We're going to have to come around over this way. This is a very, very spicy craft. Okay. Once again, it really doesn't like to go exactly the direction I want it to go. I'm having a really hard time getting into this specific checkpoint. I'm not sure that we're going to achieve this one right now because of the time limit. Okay, let's come at it one more time. I feel like coming at it from that angle is awkward for sure. Can we just... Will we stall if we pull a loop this way? The answer to that is a sort of. We will sort of stall. Okay. Diving down on it like this is definitely not ideal. I'm going to miss it again. So let's pull this back and let's just retry this from the beginning. Because I'm having a really hard time hitting that particular location, and we've spent a lot of time on it. So I want to try this again from here, and we'll just try hitting it from the angle we're supposed to hit it from. That would be ideal. Okay, so we're just going to come on down like so. And now that I'm a little more experienced with piloting this particular plane, things will hopefully be slightly better. Okay, so we take off like so, and we head on over this direction, right? We're overshooting this a little bit. Let's pull it back this way, just with yaw. That's overshooting now. Okay. This thing really likes to flail about. But there we go. So now checkpoint 3 would be this guy. Which is definitely not super hard to hit. It's the next one that I struggled with. But yeah, this likes to drift to the side. We barely achieved that one. Okay. So let's get some altitude here. and then come at this way. Once again, this really likes to drift off to the side. Man, that positioning is insane. And the reason why it's insane is this thing has a sideways drift to it, that it really likes to just head off to one side. It doesn't fly exactly straight. Okay. So let's bring this around. I'm throttling us down here. And no. We just have too much momentum on that. So we have a lot of control authority in the pitch direction, and we have very, very little control authority in the yaw direction. Which, I mean, does make some amount of sense. Right? There's no doubt about it, it makes some amount of sense. This is just very difficultly placed, and we're losing airspeed right now, so we're pitching down. This isn't great. Yeah. So, this one's tough. Let's try that one more time. It's just a very awkward place to get at because it's right behind that hill like that. But also, this vehicle really doesn't like to turn tightly because it's not aerodynamically stable. So the issue is when we try to turn via the rudder, when we try to yaw, it's not aerodynamically stable. When we try to turn via roll and pitch, which is the way that you're supposed to turn airplanes, to be clear, when we turn it that way, it is aerodynamically stable. But you can see here, it just, yeah, it has a very significant rocking motion to it. And that causes it to have a lot of drift as you are coming over. So this is, of course, not necessarily the way that you're supposed to fly airplanes, but I would not design it this way. Okay, so there's checkpoint 1. Now, we need to head out to, or rather, that was checkpoint 2. We need to head out to checkpoint 3, which is out over here. We need to get some altitude. And bring ourselves up and over. About like this. And then checkpoint 4, with it right behind that hill like that, is very awkward. For sure. So we're going to need to get a little bit of altitude. But not too much altitude. I think we're on track to get it this time. There we go. So I think I've figured out the way that we're supposed to fly this thing. So checkpoint 5 is back over here. Okay. So that seems reasonably fine. We're overshooting this turn a little bit. I think I've gotten the hang of flying this. It definitely took a hot minute, but that's okay. So, checkpoint 5. How are we doing on time? We have lots of time. Okay. Checkpoint 6. Right up over here. No problem there. Flying planes is definitely not my strong suit. No doubt about that. Anything in atmosphere, I kind of struggle with. Okay. So here we go. Is it going to have us land? Ooh, checkpoint 8 is very tight of a turn. Okay. We're going to have to come out this direction and come at it from a slightly different direction here. Okay. I was not expecting it to be that tight of a turn there. So let's just bring this up and turn ourselves in a little bit. We're too high now. Yeah, that's the problem, is that this gives us Like, when we do this roll, the way that the roll ends up working is we get too much altitude. Okay. And too much airspeed as well. That was too much airspeed there, was the core issue. But yeah, I just wasn't expecting it to be quite that far off of the main course, was the issue. So I'm going to throttle us down a little bit as we do this turn. Angle us out this way, throttling us back up. Because we need to do like a figure 8 here. Come around like this. And bring this around and come at it from this direction is what we need to do. Okay. I'm throttling us down a little bit. I'm concerned about our airspeed. Okay, yeah. This is bringing us all the way back to a landing here. I was not expecting it to do this. For sure. I tried to pull us up there. It did not go well. Okay. That is a really weird path. So now I understand where the path is taking us. But it's a very strange path. Like, I wasn't expecting it to have the weird little curves that it does. I wish it gave us a preview of where the next node in the path is going to be. That would make this a lot easier. But now that we know in theory where they're going to be, we can somewhat do this. Emphasis on somewhat. Okay, so off we go here, and we're just going to, of course, head over this way. There we go. And we're just going to... Yeah, that oscillation that we get anytime we try to yaw is insane. So I'm trying to do the turning just with the roll and the pitch instead of having any yaw. Which is technically the right way to do this. But it feels really weird whenever this thing yaws. That's for sure. Okay. So now that we know roughly where each of the checkpoints are, this should be a fairly simple thing to do, in theory, right? Emphasis on in theory. Okay, so we're just nosing down a little bit here. We're going to need to dive down past this ridge and come in through like that. And then we're going to need to get turned around. And come up this way, like so. I really wish it showed us where the next checkpoint was going to be. That would be very nice. Like, it shows us where this checkpoint is, right? But I really do wish that it showed us the location of the next checkpoint so we could prepare for that a little faster, because that checkpoint number 8 really came up fast. It was very, very close. Okay, so we're going to position something kind of like that. And we know we're going to want to be turning this way. There's a lot of really tight turns in this. Okay. So something like that. This one comes up very quickly. Ooh, we lost too much altitude. We lost the altitude to the turn there. I was anticipating the turn that time, but we lost altitude and undershot it. Okay. Turns out, being a pilot is not the most simple thing in the world. It's almost like you need like years of training to do this in real life or something. Okay, so we're just going to gently bring this around. Bringing it in for a landing is going to be real interesting. And I'm not sure how we're going to do that, especially from this angle. Yeah, missed it again, just barely. And, ooh, okay. Are we going to survive this? Yes, we are. Fantastic. Okay, so let's come at this out over this way. We need to get lined up in time here, right? And then we need to correct our momentum and do something kind of like that. Okay, so now we need to hit the runway. We're losing too much altitude here. So we need to get turned basically completely around, which is fine. We can definitely do that. But we're going to gain a bunch of airspeed here. So we're just trying to glide this right now. I really don't like this. Hang on. I have a dumb idea. I have a very dumb idea. What happens if we land going the wrong way? So we land up over here, right? I need to try. I'm trying to nose up. Okay. I'm still trying to nose up right now. This is insane. That just wasn't nosing up that entire time. Wild. Well, I guess we got to try it again. I'm really bad at this. Well, that's what I get for never flying planes in these games. I'm generally much more interested in rockets, and this game kind of forces you into doing the planes and cars as well with the progression contracts. I'm okay with that. It's a skill set that I would need to develop. So, the hard part is coming in right here, right? No doubt about it. Also, this is a terrible tutorial, by the way. This is not a good tutorial at all. So let's get around to this checkpoint. But yeah, I was trying to nose up for like 40 seconds there, and I just wasn't gaining any altitude despite being at a good airspeed. I'm not sure why that was happening, but okay. No airspeed, or rather, the airspeed wasn't the problem. We were just not gaining any altitude. I was holding the nose up button, and there was no nosing up happening. Okay, let's head over to this checkpoint. Should be a nice and easy checkpoint to hit. Just going to turn over this way a little bit. Cool. It's a difficult course, though. No doubt about that. Okay, so now we need to be heading out over this direction. And we'll need to get some altitude, of course. Okay. We're going to start diving down, although maybe not that down. Now we're going to start diving down to hit this checkpoint. There we go. Now we're going to need to pitch up and start a turn. Something about like that. Overshot it a little bit. Yeah, the timing on that turning is very delayed, which is probably to be expected. I'm just not used to it. Okay, so something along the lines of that. Now we need to hit this checkpoint, and I'd like to be heading off over this way and starting our turn for the next checkpoint, although that's going to be too much. Okay. So we're going to need to head out over this way, turning like so. And we need to be heading this direction already. Man, that's tight. That is such a tight corner. Okay. It's an insanely tight corner. Without knowing exactly where that's going to be when you hit checkpoint 7, I really wish that they gave a projection of where the next checkpoint was going to be. For now, I'm just going to head out this direction, because without knowing exactly where that is, it's hard to hit the right line. I mean, we do know where the next one is going to be. It's going to be on the base of the runway. But even so. Okay, let's get turned over this way. Well, we're not actually, I think, in position for this. Yeah. Okay. I think our best bet is to just loop-de-loop around here. And start going in this direction. Specifically out here. Our battery's at 84 right now. Okay. That's noted. So we're just going to head out here, and then we're going to get turned again. I want to get our directionality relatively inverted, but I want to head out over this way first, and then get our directionality inverted. Now, we're going to have a lot of altitude from this. So we're going to have to lose the altitude. And you can see we're currently working on stalling a bit. We're going to need to turn this way. About like this. And we're kind of diving as of right now. The problem is it's really hard to control both our rotation and our pitch at the same time. Ooh, we're going to crash here. Okay, so this is going to take some practice. That last checkpoint right before the runway, that's kind of insane. And the reason why it's insane is it's a very tight turn, but it doesn't tell us where that's going to be. However, it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to probably practice this off camera a little bit. There's clearly some techniques here that I need to master. So we'll get to that. For now, it is time to put that cut in. So you can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy Magar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse Zetosite, Hiro Marutsu, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.